Let's have another for me. What's up, everybody from the Black Wall Street Private Mastermind Group? I'm gonna give us 3 to 5 minutes to let everyone come into the room for tonight's call, our membership presentation call. My camera will be off most of the call. We're on the road back from Dallas on the way to Houston, but I'm gonna give us some time to let people come into the room, and then we'll get started with today's mastermind session member presentation. And as people continue to enter the room, we're giving 3 to 5 minutes to let more people come into the room before we get started. 3 to 5 minutes, we're gonna let more people come into the room before we get started.
Good evening, Marcel. How are you?
Hey, Brenda, how you doing?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Awesome, awesome. I'm giving everybody a little bit of moments to come into the room, and then I'll get everything started tonight.
All right, sounds good.
Another minute, Black Wall Street, and we will be getting started with tonight's Friday member presentation, Black Empower Mastermind Group. All right. Hey, Brandon, can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Okay, so what's up, Black Wall Street, the Black Empower Private Mastermind Group? As I said, my camera will be off most of today's call because I'm on the car on the way back from Dallas to Houston. But the show is going on. Welcome to everyone who is listening live on Instagram, everyone who's streaming, as well as everyone who will be listening to this on YouTube. Today is our Friday member presentation, right? So what do? Every Friday in the Black Empower Private Mastermind Group, we have members come and present their business, their opportunities, and the things that they're doing that they feel will bring value to the community as a whole. So today, our first member who will be presenting is going to be Mr. Brandon Robinson. I am going to share the co-host with him, so he'll be able to share screen and talk to you about what he does, how his company and the company he's partnered with brings value to the community, and to be a resource for you inside of our mastermind group. So, Mr. Brandon, if I am okay to do so, I will share I'll share co-host with you now, so you'll be able to utilize the Zoom and do whatever you need.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. All right, Mr. Brandon, you
Yeah, I
are
see it. I
now
see it.
co-host of yours.
Okay, thank you, Marcel. Thank you for that. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Brandon Robinson. I'm a marketing director and local financial campaigner here in the Houston area. I want to say thank you to Martel for inviting me to be a guest speaker for this evening. And yeah, I'd just like to share more about my organization and our National Financial Literacy Campaign. We currently are on a 30 by 30 National Financial Literacy Campaign. So that means that our goal is by the year 2030 to educate 30 million families across the US and Canada, so North America. We initially launched our campaign 7 years ago, January 2016, with the short-term goal of educating 1 million families by 2020. We achieved our goal in June of 2020. So we set a bigger vision to educate 30 million families over the next 10 years. And we celebrated the 2 million families educated in last summer, so July of 2023. So now, we're working towards 3 million families and getting, about 10% of our goal. For me personally, I've been a campaigner since the beginning of the campaign. And for me, I'm forever thankful that a friend of mine sat down with me over breakfast and introduced me to our organization. For me, I'm actually a Navy veteran, 8 years active duty, 4 years reserves. And me, coming back home from active duty, just looking forward to my second career, right? What am I going to do post Navy. And for me, it was I wanted to be a financial advisor because I've always wanted to learn more about finances, but also I'm very open and willing to share my knowledge with others, right? Because financial education is so important, and I believe that everyone can benefit from financial education, but then all families also need access to financial education. So with that, I'll share my screen. I'll share my screen real quick and show a quick video. 1 second. Why is it? Marshall, I don't. It's not allowing me to share my screen.
Let me see. Is it?
I can share photos, but I can't share screen.
So you should be when you click share screen, Brandon, it should allow you to share your, or it won't let me do it. It should allow you to share your screen for whichever browser, like for your browser. Is the video in your browser,
it's
like
a,
on
it's a
Google?
it's a PowerPoint. It's a PowerPoint.
Okay, what options when you click share? What does it show?
It says share photos, share Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft SharePoint, Google Drive. Yeah, I need to share.
Let's see.
I need to share a PowerPoint.
Yeah, usually it will allow you to share your full screen.
Yeah. Normally, that's what I'm used to. Yeah.
All right, okay, do you see it?
1 second.
Also, when you click the share button, it may show you your Chrome window. If you can possibly open it up in there, that may be your best bet.
Okay, give me 1 second.
And to everyone who is joining the room while Mr. Brandon is getting that on his screen, we are going to, today is our Friday membership presentation. So we have our members inside of our mastermind group. We allow our members to share presentations. We have 2 members that are presenting today. The first member that is presenting right now is Mr. Brandon Robertson. He's going to talk to you about his company and what they do to help the community when it comes to financial independence. Our second member that will be presenting today on our Friday presentation is going to be Miss Eileen Marcel. She'll be the second member that will come in and present her business and what they do when it comes to financial services, wills, protections, and legal protection as well. So, okay, it looks like we have it up. Mr. Brandon, I'm going to give everything back over to you. You'll do your presentation, and we'll circle back to Miss Eileen. Okay, I see the picture. Is that the PowerPoint?
Yeah, it's not. There's a video that I want to share, but that's okay. We can skip.
Yeah, it might not allow you to do a video, so you may just forego that one.
That's fine. No problem. Okay, so we'll just get started. All right. So, like I've already mentioned, so we have our mission, right, to educate 30 million families by the year 2030. But it's also our vision to revolutionize the financial industry and build a new industry founded on financial education, but then also to be able to solve the consumer's dilemma of lack of planning, education, and support. the reason why we launched our campaign right 7 years ago is because we recognize that even though the U.S. is one of the wealthiest countries in the world, some way, somehow, so many families struggle financially, or feeling financial stress, or just not achieving financial independence. Our Saving Your Future book is our complimentary book that we share with families. It's one of the best financial literacy books in the financial industry. It covers all areas of personal finance. So we talk about investment planning, retirement planning, college planning for children, insurance planning, tax planning, social security planning, right? Long-term care planning, and then Medicare planning, and then even estate planning, right? So all these different areas that families need to plan and prepare for. The Saving Your Future book is an introduction to that. We have over 2 million copies already distributed and shared across the US and Canada. And we also invite families to attend our 6-part workshop series. But we see here that in the US, right, North Americans are facing challenges, right? 79% of Americans feel financial stress. More than half of us live paycheck to paycheck. 62% of Americans carry credit card debt, and 27% of us don't pay our bills on time, right? We don't want to be a statistic, but we do see these challenges all around us, whether it's our own friends and family, our neighbors, or maybe even like our coworkers, right? But we believe that, as you know, with WSB and our national campaign, that it's time for a change, right? And that we can move towards a better future. This slide right here, the biggest reason why we have our campaign is because we see that the wealth gap in our country, right? It continue over the last 30 years, it continues to get bigger and bigger, right? And it's like, you know, these 4 colors here, right? You have the top 1%, the top 10%, and then the beige and purple, that's the middle class. That's the bottom 90%, the remainder of the country. So what this shows is that the majority of the wealth is held by the minority. So just the top 10%, right? They hold close to 2/3 of the wealth in our country. And it's like, how, you know, why is that? How can that be? Why is it that the rich continue to get richer? And then also, one thing to note is that it's not as rare to be a millionaire as you may believe. There's actually nearly 22 million millionaires in the US, so the most in the world, right? So almost 1 out of 11 people could be a millionaire. So literally, like, you know, you're in a room of 100 people, you know, about nine of them may be millionaires sitting right next to you. You might not even know. Another thing is that most millionaires are not celebrities or fancy people. You know, it's more than just athletes. It's more than just entertainers. A lot of millionaires could be your neighbor next door. So a lot of millionaires have built up their wealth, right, through financial education, but then also through proper planning. And really the key is consistency. So over a long period of time, not just for 1 year, not just for 2 years, but over a long period of time, that consistent discipline, right? And then why do the poor mindset, why are the poor getting poor, right? So, you know, it's unfortunate, you know, we are creatures of habit, right? So a lot of families do not budget, which is like, you know, the primary cause. A lot of us don't have financial goals. You know, here it is, January, right? It's the beginning of the year. You know, if you were to ask around people, hey, what are your New Year's resolutions? What are your goals for this year? Some people may say, hey, I want to be financially independent. I want to have better financial wellness. But a lot of people they're not going to say that. They don't have goals. And it's really hard to reach a goal or achieve a goal if you don't define clearly what that goal is, right? A lot of us have expensive taste. You know, we're in the day and age of social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, right? We see other people with nice things. Like, hey, I want to have that too. A lot of us are living with credit cards, a lot of debt, student loan debt, car loans, credit cards, right? A lot of families are not prepared for emergency, so don't have a sufficient emergency fund, $1,000, or really more cushion to 3 months of expenses saved up. And then the biggest thing right here, I think, is most people work for a living and they only have one source of income. It's really hard to achieve financial independence if your income is limited. So it's great, you know, to be a business owner, right? To have multiple sources of income, right? And to be able to achieve your financial goals faster, right? And like I said, we believe it's time for a change. You know, the previous generations were more passive, more laid back when it came to financial planning because they had more security, right? Like they had pensions, like our grandparents, right? They had pensions from their employer. So they worked there for 20, 30 years. They had that. And then they also could rely on Social Security. But for us, you know, understanding the federal budget, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to Social Security. So what was available to our parents and grandparents may not be available to us. And then also, very few companies today still offer a pension. Many companies provide a retirement plan, you know, 401k, and like they will match, but only if you contribute first, right? So it really puts a lot of responsibility on personal saving, right? So we believe your future is in your hands, right? It's not in the hands of your employer, your union, or your government. It's neither the hands of your bank nor your broker, right? So we want to help families to make more money, to save more money, accumulate more money, and then also, you know, you work so hard. We want to help you to protect your money also, and you know, pass it on to the next generation. Um, Become educated, right? So with our 6-part workshop series that we provide for families, we actually want to help families to become their own money manager and actually understand what is going on with their money. Even if you work with a financial professional, financial advisor, you should be telling your financial advisor what to do with your money, not the other way around. They shouldn't be telling you what to do with your money, right? And knowing less, right? The financial industry is such a large industry, right? You're talking about financial literacy, financial education. That's such a wide range of different concepts. There's so much to know. And with that, right, what you don't know can actually cost you in the long run, right? So, you know, we just encourage friends to take the time out, right, to understand how money works, understand the rules of money so that you can win in the money game, right? And then have money to start work for you, right? Just like building a house, we help families to build a strong financial foundation, and you build it from the ground up, right? So you start with proper protection, debt management. So we not only want to help families to manage their debt, but also to create a plan so that they can eliminate their debt and live debt free, right? We want to help families to build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. If you're a business owner, a 9 to 12 month emergency fund, and then investments, right? So we all want to have, you know, we want to retire someday, but we want to be able to live a comfortable retirement, but then also, like I said, create that generational wealth and leave a legacy for future generations also, right? So we want to help families move from financial insecurity to financial security, and then ultimately to financial independence. And you can do it. It definitely is achievable. It really just takes discipline. Well, it starts with a mindset first, but it takes discipline and coaching. You know, with coaching you can get there. But starting with proper protection, you know, learning how to protect your assets, protect your income, right? Debt, like I said, debt management. This is from one of our workshops, so workshop 2, increased cash flow and debt management. We know that, you know, families are drowning in debt, whether it's student loans or high car loans or high mortgage, right? Some people have so much debt that they don't believe that they will be able to achieve living debt free within their lifetime, right? But this illustration here shows that even with just an extra $100, so we actually sit down with families and help them find $100 to $200 a month that they didn't even know that they had, just by helping them to cut back on unnecessary spending. You know, maybe you need to sacrifice a couple luxuries today so that you can have a better future, right? But the shows here, there's six loans here. The lowest being a credit card that it was going to take this family 30 years to be able to pay off all of their debt, you know, including their mortgage. But just by applying an extra $100 to their credit card, right? So the debt roll-up method is you list your debts in order, largest to smallest, and then you apply whatever additional amount. So in this case, $100 to the smallest balance, the credit card. Instead of paying it off in 19 months, this family was able to pay that off in 2 months. And then they rolled that $110 up to the next debt, which is the home improvement, right? They paid that off faster. You roll that up to the MasterCard, pay that off faster, so on and so forth until they get up to their mortgage, right? So now they're paying an extra $1,000 a month towards their mortgage, right? And just by starting with that extra $100, they were able to reduce that 30 years of debt, and almost cut it in half, right? So reduce it down to 17 and a half years, right? So that's pretty incredible. So if that's what $100 could do, imagine what an extra 200 or $300 a month could do as far as getting out of debt faster, right? Emergencies, right? So it's very key to have an emergency fund because emergencies are going to happen. It's not a matter of if, but when, right? COVID really highlighted how important it is to have an emergency fund, right? Even if you yourself don't have any emergencies, somebody close to you, a close friend, a family member, they may have an emergency and they may need your assistance, right? And it's good for you to be in a position to be able to help a loved one, right? And then we talk about investments, right? So preparing for the long term. The recommendation is for us to have at least 20 years of our current annual income saved up for retirement. If you do plan to retire at 60, right, you expect about 20 years in retirement. Saving and investing. So this is from workshop 5, understanding asset accumulation strategies, right? So this is just an example of how someone who can save $500 a month, or if you break it down daily, can pay themselves and be disciplined $17 a day. That starting at age 30 at 8%, they would have $745,000 saved up. Or if they could get a return of, consistent return of 10%, they got over 1.1 million ready for retirement, right? But let's say they reach age 60 and they let that money continue to work for them. So compound interest, right, the rule of 72, that you take 72, right, divide by 8%, you expect that money to double in 9 years. So that 745,000 will become 1.5 million by age 69. That's a very comfortable retirement. Or that 1.1 million will grow to 2.3 million, right? So it's like you can become financially independent. It really just takes discipline more than anything. Understanding taxes, right? We all have to pay our fair share in taxes, but where you position your money is going to determine how much you pay in taxes. So the IRS, right, they have 3 opportunities to tax your money. They can tax it today, or what we call the principal. They can tax the gains over time, or they have the opportunity to tax the distribution. So there's only 3 tax buckets: tax now, tax later, tax advantage. We want to help families to utilize all 3 and reposition the money if necessary, so that they can take advantage of the different tax advantages. College planning is important cornerstone of our platform, and really helping students to prepare for college, but then also to reduce the out of pocket expenses by being better prepared. We added Social Security planning to our platform 2 years ago. The reason being is that nearly 90% of people receiving Social Security are not receiving their maximum benefit, just because there's so many rules when it comes to Social Security. Right, there's over 2,400 rules, right? So different scenarios, right? It's like nobody really knows all those, right? But we actually have a software that we can run for families that will give them like 100 different scenarios and actually help them choose which trigger so that they can get their maximum benefit. We have an incredible Facebook group, so WCB community. These are some of the posts from some of our campaigners across the country. So we have Ms. Tequila, and she's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana area. Ms. Dolly Joseph Povic, she's in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And then over here, Mr. Lodi, he's in the Bay Area, San Francisco, right? So just sharing some of their thoughts and some of their activities on our Facebook group. This is the Saving Future book that I mentioned. We have over 2 million distributed. And then the 6 educational workshops has an activity book that goes along with the 6 workshops. You can do our workshops locally at one of our local financial education centers. We have a couple here in the Houston area, but we actually have over 400 across the country, and then or online through Zoom, right? These are the 6 educational workshops right here. We're doing the campaign introduction now, but these are the 6 workshops that we provide Monday through Friday, 3 times a day, so multiple times a day, so families can join in and come out and learn, right? We just ask that you invest your time so that you can learn. And like I mentioned earlier, the 3-legged stool, there's a lot more responsibility on personal savings today. and just our Facebook group. We have over 80,000 members in our Facebook group. And then these are just some. I'm gonna end with this. These are some of the like, you know, people ask, well, where do you campaign or who do you campaign to, right? So we bring financial education. We bring our campaign to families' homes. We go to public libraries, right? We go to schools and universities, so whether it's middle schools, high schools, even colleges, right? We have campaigners. This Dr. Dahlia Maya right here, she's actually an economics professor at Harvard. She was able to introduce our workshops and campaign to Harvard. And, you know, it's pretty interesting that, you know, Harvard, right, is arguably the #1 university, #1 college in the country. She says that even their business program doesn't teach their business students about personal finance. So if the #1 college in the country is not doing it, you know, where are you supposed to learn, right? Places of worship, so churches, small businesses and large corporations such as, you know, Metro PCS and Oracle, government agencies. We had a chance to share with the FBI in Maryland, local fire and police department in Florida. And then, of course, right, if you have good information to share, so just like now, right, we're all tuned in. I'm pretty sure a friend invited you out to come learn. You know, you want to share good information with those that you care about, right? And with that, I'll go ahead and end. And of course, you know, online through Zoom. So with that, you know, it is our mission, right, to educate 30 million families, but to be able to reach that many families and, you know, this 10-year window that we have, it takes a large community. You know, 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people cannot reach that many families. So we just welcome membership to anyone that we share the campaign with. If you believe into financial education, you believe into our mission, we welcome you to become a member with us and help us to reach the 30 million families faster, right? And with that, Marcel, that's all I had to share. Thank you for giving me the floor.
Phenomenal, Mr. Robertson. Thank you very much. Let's open it up to see if you have any questions or if anyone has questions about your presentation before we bring our next member, Miss Eileen Marcel, to the stage. Thank you very much. That's amazing information. I'll mute and see if anyone has questions. You can unmute and ask a question, or you can write a chat for Mr. Brandon, or just if you want to tell him great job.
I just want to say excellent presentation, great. You know, it's so important that folks learn how to do what's necessary to be financially solvent, but we're not taught that early. So, and if you just said that Harvard is not teaching it, so I'm grateful that you are. So thank you for sharing that excellent presentation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll leave I have a Google Forms that I'll put in the chat if anyone wants to click on it. It's a survey card, so it'll help me understand what areas of finance you would like to learn more about, and then also how can I campaign to help you, but then also how can you contribute to our campaign.
And Brenda, can you tell everyone how they can follow you as well?
Yes. So I Facebook Brandon Robinson, Missouri City, or more so on Instagram, Brandon Robinson TX, or I do have a personal website, wsbcampaign.com/Brandon Robinson.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Brandon Robertson. I see all the comments saying this is awesome. This is amazing, great information. I'm happy to have you aboard. Of course, as I told you, if there's times where you want to come and discuss specific courses that you guys do within that 6-part series, you can definitely come back and present. That way you can continue to add value to the community. So thank you very much, Mr. Brandon Robertson. We are going to go to our next presenter, our next mastermind member of the night, which is Miss Eileen Marcel, who is going to talk about Wills and More and Legal Shield and all the things that she does. So Miss Eileen, we are going to give you, okay, you already have co-host now, and I am going to let you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So let me just make sure y'all are seeing the screen. as I'm seeing it. Hi, I am Eileen Marcial, and I am the founder and CEO of Wills and More. And I believe so strongly that collaboration is the new currency. So listening to what Mr. Robinson was saying is so profound because each one needs to teach one. So while he's sharing the financial literacy part, it's so important to make sure that as business owners, it's just as everyday human beings that we need to have our stuff in order. I work a lot with real estate investors as well as small business owners and just everyday families. And the problem is this: if you're a small business owner and you don't have a plan in place, your business dies with you. If you're a real estate investor and you've got so many properties, you're just killing it, and you don't have a estate plan in place, your properties are not going to go to your family. They're going to be sold at sheriff sales. That's not why we do the things we're doing, right? Now we're leaving mysteries instead of legacies. So I really, truly love what I do. And the question for you tonight is, do you have a legal team working with your family and your business? So I'm just going to jump in. I want to share one quick thing, though. I started Wills and More almost 10 years ago. And since the pandemic, we've assisted on over 360 love letter will packages, which means that we're showing folks how to leave legacies instead of mysteries. And I truly love what we do. And I'm going to show you how you can have a legal team to work with your family and your business. We have what's called the Crown Jewel package. And as small business owners, I know I personally was guilty of procrastinating about getting my will done, procrastinated about just doing the things I need to do. But what we need to be able to have is unlimited personal and business legal advice. And that's not free, and that's not Google, family. That's not what I'm talking about. You want to speak to someone who's actually in the industry. You want to speak with someone who knows the laws, and that's what we're able to provide you with. And this particular package protects both sides of your empire, your personal, your family, as well as your business. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. And don't be alarmed by the $44.90 per month. It's a business write-off. We need to start our businesses right if we're just starting out. Do you want to pay on the front end, or do you want to pay common money on the back end? So let me just go over the legal services part. This is the part that protects you and your family. So you can have unlimited personal contracts and documents reviewed. So what's crazy about that is that we buy cell phones and never read the contract. We rent cars, never read the contract, but the bold print gives and the fine print takes away. So you can have unlimited personal contracts and documents reviewed up to 15 pages. If you have a question about anything of a personal nature, we're going to review that for you and answer those questions. But what's so important, what's near and dear to my heart, and I'm completely and totally sold out passionate about, is estate planning documents to protect your family and your business. We want to leave, as I said, I can't say it enough, we want to leave a legacy and not a mystery. We want to have something to put in that financial plan that Mr. Robinson was speaking so eloquently about. And we also want to make sure that there's no fighting, right? And so I just love what we do. You're going to be able to have your will, living will, medical power of attorney, financial power of attorney. And if you have children, a minus trust, so you get to say who you want to take care of your little ones in case you're no longer here. But so importantly is if you have a business, what do you want to have happen to it? So it stays in the family and goes the way you want it to go. Now, I happen to know that Martel and the crew are en route. They're on the road. They're road warriors. If you get a speeding ticket anywhere in the United States, our attorneys will represent you. And if by chance you have a situation where you got pulled over and you think that your rights are going to be taken away from you, arrested, questioned, or detained, you have 24-hour day access to an attorney so that you can have an attorney on speakerphone if that happens. And we protect the member, their spouse, and children up to the age of 26, and children with special needs regardless of their age. So that's the first part of the crown jewel, the personal side. But the part that's really near and dear to my side, besides the will, is that you want to be able to protect your business, right? And you'd be surprised what constitutes a home-based business. If you are a mom and pop store, if you are a barbershop and it's just you and family members, if you are a real estate investor, the thing with real estate investors is that you're buying properties, you're signing contracts. You're going to do that Airbnb, you better make sure you had that contract reviewed, because if you did not, and you started something up there and found out you cannot sublet that property, you are no longer an Airbnb. I had that happen to a client. So we will protect up to 5 EIN numbers nationwide. We'll cover up to 10 residential rental properties. Going back to that EIN, going back to that Airbnb, or even if you have rental property, Section 8, things of that nature, you want to make sure that you have access to attorneys to resolve these matters. Now, mind you, we are not going to court with you for $180 for the year, but we will make sure that you are educated and have every bit of information that you need to go into that court and win that case yourself. But what's so important about this service is that bold print gives, fine print takes away. And that's ever so important with a business contract. So we're going to review 4 business contracts every month, up to 25 pages each. And if you need more than that, because you're just really a straight up baller and doing great things and moving and shaking, if you need more than those 4 contracts, we're going to charge you $75 for each of them. Now picture this. We all know attorneys charge anywhere from $250 on up. So if you hand a $250 attorney a contract, I guarantee you that they are going to take longer than an hour to read it. So this is definitely worth the price of admission. And as you start your business, as you grow your businesses, you might have legal questions. And Google is not the source of that you need to go to get your answers. So we have attorneys that will be able to answer those for you. If you feel you were treated unfairly or overcharged or did not get the product you ordered or the service you wanted from a contractor, we'll write that letter and make that phone call. And if you're in that kind of business where you actually let people walk out without paying for something, or you provide your services without getting the full amount back, or what you were supposed to get paid, we do debt collection letters. And this happened to me as a pain point. If you get audited by the IRS for the Schedule C or E, we are going to send a bona fide tax attorney with you to handle that audit. So this is the business side. So the crown jewel covers the personal and the business side. And I love that about this. Now, for those of you that are talking about getting an LLC, went to the website, thought about it, and then said, oh my God, what the heck am I looking at? If you need an LLC, we have something for you also. We have a product called Launched by Legal Shield. Yeah, it's $149, but what it does is it includes 3 months of the crown jewel, which is the family legal plan, and the home-based business supplement. But you're going to be able to brand your business. And what is the brand? The brand is, what did you name your business? So we're going to check to make sure that name is available, and we'll register it with the state with an EIN number. If you are just getting started, you want to have that startup consultation. You want to get started right, not wrong. Because if you get started wrong, you got to retrack and you're losing valuable time and most likely money. We're going to form the LLC for one business entity. And we will file your tax ID or EIN number with our attorneys for you. Now, if you're doing business, you want to make sure it's done right. If you have limo service, you do not want folks running around in Speedos and stuff. You want to make sure that you have your rules of operation, your rules of engagement in place. And that's the articles of incorporation and organization that's prepared and filed by our attorneys. And if you do need a registered agent, if you need more information on that, my information's in the chat. But we do all of that for $149, and we include the crown jewel for 3 months. You will pay the filing fee, just so you know. However, just imagine not having to go to that website and figure out what you need to do. You can have somebody that already knows how to do it and do it for you. So we do offer other services. We have Identity Theft Shield. So for the people, for the folks that are looking to build their business and want to use other people's money, you need to have good credit. And that was one of the things that Mr. Robinson pointed out, is that some folks just don't have good credit, don't pay their bills on time. Sometimes it's an extenuating circumstance, but at the end of the day, we do need to have good personal credit, because that's going to lead to business credit, so you can use or have access to other people's money, whether you're buying a building, whether you're funding a product, a project, or just needed to build your business. You want to make sure you have good credit. If you're a brand new business, we do have what's called a Business Plus supplement. We will do your website for you. Well, we're going to give you the tools to do it. I spoke with somebody wanted to charge them $2,500 to build a website for them. And they were just starting out. So of course that was not in the budget. So for $14.95 per month, we're going to give you the templates for you to have that e-commerce capability, access to vital business forms, and a CRM, so you can manage your contacts and your potential customers. Now there's one other area that we serve. There are companies that have more, just huge brick and mortar. They have employees that are not family members, and or have a high exposure to litigation. So we have small business plans for that, because that litigation part can be a beast. If you work with our services, you're going to be able to have 1 trademark or copyright, 20 contracts per month, up to 20 pages, unlimited advice, and 100 hours of trial defense representation. So if you're a trucking company or someone who has a high exposure to litigation, you want to have this in place because you're going to have 100 hours of trial time for $180 or included in, for $14.95 per month times 12 is $180, give or take $1, right? So would you want to pay $180 for 100 hours? Or do you want to pay somebody 100 hours at $250, which is $25,000? I personally prefer to use $25,000 to go to the Maldives or donate to a charity or do something way more fun than pay an attorney. I would hope you would think the same. So that's for the smaller business. But if you've got a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of things going on, we can give you more contracts and documents and still the same trademark for a little bit more. But once again, these are bona fide business tax write-offs. So what does this, let me just give you a quick recap. The price of peace of mind and protection for your family, your legacy, your identity is so clear, right? The crown jewel protects you and your business, right? Up to 5 EIN numbers and 10 residential properties. That's $44.90 a month. If you wanted to include the identity theft for an individual, which is $19.95, or a family, those are the prices. The standalones are the Pro and the Plus, and the Business Plus supplement, which is $14.95, and my information's at the bottom. So I do appreciate you taking the time out on a Friday evening to listen to a way to actually have a legal plan, a legal team protecting your family, your legacy, and all things near and dear to you, as well as to protect your business, to make sure you're not making unsafe decisions legally. Because Google is only as good as the person who put the information up there. So it's so important to have something in place, and hope is not a strategy. So that's my presentation. So I have my information in the chat, and I'm going to stop sharing now. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free.
Phenomenal. Thank you very much, Miss Eileen. That amount of information when it comes to having legal protection, and then with Mr. Brandon when it comes to having financial education. This is so important and critical for our community. So let me see if anyone has any questions for Miss Eileen. If you're on Facebook, you can this is streaming live. You can leave any questions in the comments, and we'll get them to Miss Eileen to answer. But if anyone inside of the room, the Zoom right now.
Oh, you muted yourself, Martel.
Sorry, I muted. Oh yeah. If anyone inside the room have any questions, feel free to type your question or just to come off and say great presentation. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, Keith said thank you for the info, Mr. Keith Young Jr.
You're most welcome.
And Miss Eileen's information, Brianna said thank you as well. Awesome. Information is in the chat, so if you have any questions, you can grab it there. Brandon said thank you, Miss Eileen. Awesome. So thank you both, Brandon and Miss Eileen, for speaking today in the Black Empower Private Mastermind member presentation. This is a growing community. The official launch is March 1st, so we are growing and we're developing, and I love all of you for growing and developing with us as we continue to elevate. You are the mastermind and you are our community. So the energy that you are putting into this community is what's going to take it to the next level. And I am super grateful. Our whole team here at Black Wall Street is super grateful for you and everyone that is here in the room, everyone who follows the platform, and everyone who sees the vision of the Black community being empowered financially, mentally, spiritually, to be able to be who we should be on earth as Black people empowered. So if there's no other questions, we will end today's mastermind session and be ready come February. We have some new things coming out in terms of our schedule and things that we'll be doing in the mastermind group, and we'll be getting ready for the big lunch on March 1st. So thank you everybody for being in the room today. I appreciate all the presentations. They were awesome. And we look forward to seeing y'all on Monday, on Great Minds Monday. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. It is Friday. Enjoy yourself. And we will see you guys next week.
And thank you. Same to you, and safe travels.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye for now.
All right. Bye-bye.